Hello world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to Robothought Zero to Hero series C++ coding using Arduino Mega. Alright guys, I hope you guys are, you already have your Arduino Mega. Guys, there's a specific reason, as I told you in my earlier lessons, to go ahead and buy Arduino Mega. The reason is, as we proceed further, the entire series combining Jetson Nano and Arduino Mega, by end of this series combining all the parallel series, you will be building an autonomous robot with multiple artificial intelligent functionalities. All right, so that's the reason we need Arduino Mega, because Arduino Mega has got multiple digital outputs and analog input pins and kind of thing. There are extra pins basically, and the core, the processing power is pretty good. So we need that kind of power connected to your Jetson Nano in order to make sure that our multiple artificial intelligent applications are running in parallel, and also your bot is working perfectly as desired. All right, so if you don't have one, that's fine for now, but make sure that you have Arduino Mega for this particular series, that is the Zero to Hero series for C++ coding in Arduino. Alright guys, now let me just connect my Arduino and let's see what happens, and then we will take it forward from there. Alright. Okay, let me just connect it. Okay, I'm just connected. There you go, the little LED seems to be working fine, and I need to then, what we need to do, we need to select the right board, right? So need to go to tools, and then I'm on COM16, it's selected, and then again go to tools, the processor Atmega 2560. Perfect. All right. So guys, what are we learning now? So let's take a look at what exactly we are trying to go forward from here. So we are on lesson number 6, right? So I'm going to talk about main loop and a calling function in Arduino, right? In the last 5 chapters, I hope you got a hang of the IDE and the basic stuffs which I showed you. Now we will get into more and more details hands-on. All right, so in this lesson we will learn about the main loop and calling function, so which is basically used in C++ program combined together for Arduino specific. All right, the loop function, the LOOP, which will have a curvy bracket, both open and close. All right, similar to setup and the loop function, the bare minimum program which you can see, right? So for example, let me just share the IDE so that you guys can understand what I'm trying to explain. All right, so the bare minimum program in Arduino Sketch will have void setup and void loop. All right, so this is what we are referring to. So the loop function is basically the main loop in Arduino Sketch. Okay, so the after statements that only need to be run once have finished being executed in the setup function, and the program execution starts in the loop function, right? That's going to repeat again. So once the program execution has started in the main loop, whatever the code you put in the main loop, the statements in the main loop will be executed continuously until the Arduino is switched off or it has to be reset. So it will continuously, it will operate, right? The code gets repeatedly executed. So the main loop, where the actual operational functionality of Arduino takes place. For example, if Arduino is programmed to be flashing a light, then the flashing light functionality will be placed in the main loop. Okay, for example, you are connecting a motor and you want that motor to continuously keep rotating forward in your robot, so that should be in your main loop. All right, so your motor is going to continuously keep rotating and rotating and rotating, right? That's how it works. So why is it called a main loop? You need to understand this, guys, right? So basically the statements in loop function will be executed from top to bottom, as I did explain to you in the previous chapters, right? It will be executed from top to bottom in the IDE, right? That is what the system, that's how the architecture of the IDE for Arduino has been designed. It will start in sequence 1, 2, 3, 4, like that, until the bottom of the loop function is reached. All right, until the bottom, that is the end of the line. So when the bottom of the loop function is reached, the statements are executed from top of the loop function again, and it repeats. It goes back to 1 and again comes back to 10 as an example, then 10 to 1 and again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that, right? That is how it works. Each and every statement what you define, what you code, that will be repeated 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is how the loop function works. That is why it is called loop. All right, so now let's do some coding, guys, hands-on coding, so that you guys will have a better understanding of what I'm trying to explain. So take out your IDE and let's do some coding out here. All right, so let's take some random examples. So how to get into this bare minimum, I did show you, right? You can go to say one second, say file, go to examples, and you need to go to basics, and you can select the bare minimum. So once you select this bare minimum, you get this bare minimum sketch, which is your void setup and a void loop. All right, now let's write some sample program for you to understand how the main loop works. So let us start with serial dot begin. So I am going to initiate the serial print in the terminal, and that's going to be our 9600 speed, which is a standard speed. And remember, guys, every line of code in C, C++, especially in Arduino, should end with a semicolon like this. All right, and now serial dot print line. So for line, what we need to do, ln. Now what I want to print, you can put it in your bracket, so whatever you want to put. So I am going to take an example of, say, hello Avengers. All right, hello Avengers, and close the quote and then close the bracket, and do not forget your semicolon. All right, now let us set a delay. I am going to talk about this delay more in detail. Delay for, say, 2000 milliseconds. 2000 milliseconds is nothing but 2 seconds. All right, and end with a semicolon. Now let's get into our loop. Now in loop, what we need to do, say for example, serial dot print ln. Okay, serial dot print ln, and then what we need to do, put something, whatever you want. So I'm going to put, say, Nick Fury calling Iron Man, and then close it with a double quote, and then close the bracket and make sure your semicolon ends, right? That is how you put it. And now what we need to do, serial print Nick Fury calling Iron Man. Let's create another serial print. Say serial dot print. Guys, make sure you are in void loop section, right? So that is how you are. I'm going to show you how this loop works. Serial print ln, and then let's say what I want to print. Say Thanos is attacking. Thanos is attacking our planet with a double quote. As soon as you put the double quote, the entire string color changes. Hope you notice that, right? And then make sure you end with a semicolon. Now let us say delay. Again, I am going to set a delay of 2000 milliseconds and end with a semicolon, and let me come down and let's say again serial dot print ln, and now I am going to call all Avengers attack on Thanos. Right, like this, open quote, double quote, and a close double quote inside that, right? And then close the bracket, and now end with a semicolon. Alright, all Avengers attack Thanos. Now let me give a delay again. I'm going to explain what does that delay means again. Don't worry about that. Delay for say another 2000 milliseconds, that is equals to 2 seconds. Alright, and then again let's say serial dot print line, and then let's say I'm just trying to create some stories, guys, like Nick Fury, Thanos, Avengers from the Marvel movies, and trying to make it more fun and interactive. You are going to see that. Now let's say the end game of Avengers ends. Alright, now what we need to do, I'm going to put a full stop and then a backward slash. Guys, the backward slash is above the enter key. So for those who want to know, above the enter key here on your keyboard, above the enter key, that is what the backslash is. Okay, backslash, and then I'm going to put a R and then another backslash and then N. I'm going to explain you what exactly is that, and then close the quote. Alright, after you close the quote, you need to close the bracket again and a semicolon. Alright, now what we need to be doing, let's say okay, I think this should be enough for, we have a sufficient story to print here. White loop. Alright, so that has been set up. Okay, perfect. I hope we don't get any syntax error. So let me just compile this program. So how do you compile? You need to go to the tick mark which shows as verify. As soon as you mouse over on that, compile. Compiling the sketch, no errors, good, which is good. Now I'm going to upload that into my Arduino. Uploading, that's good. I can see a blinking LED is glowing shiny on my Arduino Mega, and then I'm going to open the serial monitor, come on the right side top, you can see this lens kind of logo, serial monitor. Now click on that. There you go, guys. Let me just share my serial monitor so that you can see what is happening, the output. Alright, so here you can see hello Avengers, Nick Fury calling Iron Man, Thanos is attacking, and all Avengers attack on Thanos, and the end game of Avengers ends, and it's keep on repeating. Now let me try to explain what is happening in each line of this code. Alright guys, just take a look at the serial monitor, see the output. So after each of those 4 lines, there is a space in between, there is a gap, right? Can you see that? There is a gap here. So that is where I'm going to explain what exactly is happening in that particular loop. But for you to understand for now, you can see that the story what we had written in the serial print line function, inside the function, it's printing again and again the same thing, like a storyline, right? Like a storyline. Now, so basically what's happening is, let me try to explain the delay function. When the delay function is basically called in the statement delay 2000, then the delay function causes a waiting period of 2 seconds. It just waits, it initiates a waiting period. So 2000 milliseconds is what? It's 2 seconds, because 1000 milliseconds is 1 second, also written as 1000 ms. So I am putting 2000, right? So the time of the delay can be changed by passing different values to the delay. It can be 3000, 5000, 10,000, whatever you want, right? You can just define that within that, the delay function. The print ln function, so let me just close this. Let me come back to the IDE so that you will understand. So in the print ln function here, right? So that basically sends the text out of the serial USB port of Arduino, which is actually displayed in your serial monitor, right? So whichever monitor you are connected to with your Arduino, it will show up that. So that is the functionality of the print ln function. The print ln function is different from a delay function. Do not get confused. It's a delay function is different and the print ln function is different. So in that it has a serial and a dot, right? If you can see the code, there's a dot before the serial dot print. That's where the text you have to print, right? So the open bracket and a close curvy bracket. Okay, so the reason of this particular notation, the serial function underscore name or whatever the notation you can give, is because the function acts on the serial port. Okay, it acts on the serial port, or you can call it as an object. It's also called a serial object. Okay, so you will notice in that code what we just wrote, the setup function with a bracket, closed, open and close bracket, that the serial begin is called. The setup, within the setup function we are calling the serial begin first, right? So there is a function and inside that there is a serial begin function. This is the begin function acting on the serial port. Okay, in this case, to set it to the desired speed, we have these functions that are basically the object name, and it's also called as methods in object oriented programming. It's also called methods, so remember that. So C++ is basically object oriented programming, right? You guys need to understand this. So once we execute this code, you can see how this is smooth and precise, perfectly running, flawless, right? So that is how the loop function works, guys. Can you see how still it is running? I haven't closed the serial monitor yet. So guys, I hope this is clear and I hope you are understanding what I'm trying to explain you, how the loop function works, right? So if you have any questions, any suggestions, do leave a comment below. Guys, follow these basic lessons very carefully, because end of this series there's going to be another series I'm going to start where you will combine your Jetson Nano learnings into Arduino and we will start building the autonomous robot. And that robot is going to do multiple functions, right? It's going to detect a face and it's going to follow the face, it's going to run behind you. We will be getting into ROS operating system, control the robot and all those things. So it's going to be fun, guys. But make sure all this parallel series what I had initiated, you follow everything from basics and the scratch. So you need to understand everything in detail, line by line. That is the objective of Zero to Hero. Now do give me a thumbs up and a like, and I'm going to be back soon in the next video. Until then, bye bye.